Hello everybody to this new forecast for the last trading day in this week. Before we start with the pairs I have for you today, I want to make a quick review of the pairs from the yesterday's forecast. I want to show you quickly three interesting things. I had yesterday in my forecast the GBP out, and our ID was, let's zoom in a bit. This was the time from my last forecast where we saw that it already spiked here into this buy order block here, and one of the IDs was even if the price comes clearly over this wide daily H1 resistance here and get support, but you can see this did not happen at this moment. It was get rejected here and was going down again. Only if we had seen such thing, it was going over it, retested and goes up, then this is a buy, but not in that way. And the second ID was, I told you this in my yesterday's video, that we then wait that the price comes back to this trend line here and to this area where we have two major buy order blocks. And if we then see a reaction with a strong green candle or more candles, then we go into a buy trade, and you can see clearly a little fake break out of this trend line. It consumed here in this area buy orders, and then we have here this nice green candle. This is also a green candle, but it spiked a bit here. But then here or here you could enter here this trade, and it moved until now. You can see it was going higher and higher and higher. This was a really nice trade. I was in this trade too, and could here make some pips with this trade. On the, let's see, Aussie Yen, we had yesterday, I had this ID that we can check if we get here a W formation. If you remember, if you saw the video from yesterday, and I told you that we of course need to wait that this neckline gets broken here. Only then we have a confirmed W, and you can see this did not happen. The price came not over this neckline, instead it was going lower today. I opened a trade here, a buy trade, because this was the 50% Fibonacci level based on the daily chart, and I got a little reaction here, but then it was going down again, so I closed it and I made here, I think 15 pips in minus here with this trade. But as I saw that it is going deeper and down, then I opened around here a sell trade, and I could make around 40 pips, I think it was. I shared this result in my Telegram group too. If I give you some trading ideas, if we look in this forecast what could happen, you should always, of course, check what really happens, because if I make now the forecast at this time, it's around 10, 12 or more hours, and in the morning there can something happen, and then you can of course use MetaGrid and the lines to make your own decisions. So my forecast is some IDs we can maybe trade, but if this ID does not trigger, like here it came not to this point here, then of course you can look for own IDs, and you can see the resistance was very strong. We had a lot of sell major order blocks here around, so a lot of sellers are waiting, but these orders got not filled here, but the sellers were so strong today that the Aussie Yen was going down here on this pair. And I want to check the Aussie Swissy. This was a really nice and interesting trade today. The idea was that we can already check here on this sell order block for maybe a sell. I thought that it maybe would go until here and then we could sell it, but this was the first opportunity. It was a little bit tricky, because you see the first time it really came clearly out of this sell order block was then here. You can see it came here down, and you see this strong red candles. Maybe you opened here a sell trade, but then you have to place, of course, your stop loss about over the last high here. The highest high here is this, so we place our stop loss here, and then we are safe, as you can see. We had a drawdown then here, but after that we got here this massive down move here. So you can clearly see what happened here in this massive sell order block, which we had from Metagrid. The sell orders got consumed here. This was the first attempt to go lower, but there were more sell orders here above, so the price came back here, consumed more sell orders, and in this massive down move, which stopped 30 minutes ago or 1 hour ago, and until then it was going down and down and down. So this was a really nice trade here, which I already shared too in my Telegram group. I was in this trade too. So this was also a good trading or opportunity we had here today. A lot of good moves we had today. So this was a little recap of the yesterday's forecast and what happened today. And I have today for you 3 pairs I want to look with you. And I want to begin with the USD yen. Let's check where I have it. Here's the dollar yen. I attached the Metagrid template to it. And then we make our analyze. The first thing I do normally is to check where we have the next support and resistance levels. I do this by myself the first time, and then I use the tools from Metagrid to fine-tune all the stuff. So on the daily, if you look here, and don't forget we have on Friday the NFP. So it's a really special day. You have to be very careful with trading. Maybe you wait until the NFP is out and we know the numbers. But still, maybe we see before some trading opportunities. I think here could be a resistance here. And here, let's check. We'll place it here. Yep. And then we have here, in my opinion, a kind of support here at this area, and you can see we have here this H4 demand zone. Then the next what I do is check the Fibonacci levels from this high to this low. You can see the next level is the 50% level on the daily, and this level sits in this H4 supply zone here, so which is very interesting. So if we see maybe on Friday after the NFP, for example, some up move from the euro, maybe, and then it could bounce here. This is one bounce area. Or we see that you can see at the moment it sits here on the 38.2 level, Fibonacci level, and already bounced here several times. Maybe after the NFP, the dollar gets weaker and maybe goes down. We will see what happens tomorrow. But it's good to know where we at the moment on this place. Now let's check the order blocks from Metagrid for this pair. And we are interested in the major blocks. These blue boxes here are the major blocks. So we have here 2 on the chart, and I mark them with the rectangle tool. So we have here a major sell order block. Why is it a sell order block? Because it sits between these red lines. Red stands here for sell. And we have a major buy order block here below. And why it's a buy order block? Because it sits here on a green line. Then I remove again the order blocks because I have then now these blocks on my chart. And now we know that we have here resistance ahead here and here a kind of support. This is good to know. And now we check the support and resistance from Metagrid. It makes a multi-time frame analysis. If I click here on this button, we have to wait that we get a new tick from the chart. It is very slow at the moment. Only if Metagrid gets a new tick, then we get here the support and resistance lines. So we have it on the chart now. And I remove the lines I don't need. But if I look here, you can see the lines are very good. They are on the bounce areas here, so I let them all on the chart for now. And now we check the trend lines. I click here on the TL button, then MetaGrid gives me an analyze for the trend lines, and I remove the trend lines I don't need, like this H1 trend line. The white lines are H1. I can remove it, it's not important, but I let a yellow on it. It's a H4 trend line, and you can see we have here this white one. This is a H1 trend line. Maybe this one gets a bit broken here, and then maybe we see a reaction here already for a down move. We have two interesting areas. The first thing what can happen that this line gets broken here, and then we see that it comes here into this sell order block, and then maybe we see a sell opportunity. Then we could here open a sell trade, or it goes then further down here to this area, and then we get here a reaction. Then we could here open a buy trade. I like this opportunity more, because we see here also this strong support line we have drawn from the daily chart. So maybe it gives a little bit of fake breakout here, then it consumes buy orders and goes up again. It depends really on the NFP we see tomorrow. So these two areas are important to watch during the day. What happens here? Of course, if these areas got broken here so that the price comes easily here through, this means that here the sellers are not active anymore, that we don't have any more sell orders, they have been removed, and then this is a sign for a strong up move. Then you could go for maybe as a target here or here, maybe get retested here. So we will see what happens. At the moment it bounced here on this demand box. As you can see, there's a demand level from the MetaGrid supply and demand indicator. The price came here into this demand zone and bounced several times here during the last hours. So it gives here also opportunities for trading if you have the indicator on your chart. So these are the two possibilities I see here at the moment. We will see what the NFP brings, and maybe it bounces here on one of these two areas, or on two areas. Maybe the NFP comes out, we get here a spike in it, and then it goes down to here. Who knows? We will see. But have these two places, watch these two places here on the USD yen. Then I want to check the EURUSD today. I don't trade it that much, because I don't like this pair that much. But tomorrow with the NFP, maybe we get some opportunities. I attach the MetaGrid template, and then you can see the EURUSD is also at the moment on a demand level, on a H4 demand level. It bounced here the first time. Let's see, it bounced here and gave a max of 160 pips here, and then it is now again here, or was again here on this level, and bounced again. So a smaller bounce now. It depends also what happens on Friday with the NFP data, if the bounce gets bigger or if this demand level gets maybe broken. We can also check the Fibonacci levels here. We should also check here this level. You can see this was also a nice move. So we had, for example, here the 50% level, maybe after NFP, that we have here a bounce area if it goes higher. And we have, of course, from the low to this high Fibonacci levels. So in case that it comes further down, here the 50% level is interesting, but I think also the 38.2 level, which is here in this next demand level, is also very interesting. So good points here. Let's check the next support and resistance levels by ourselves. Here, of course, we could expect resistance here. It bounced here several times. And on the lower end, of course, where it's bounced here on the demand level, it's also a support area here. So then let's check the order blocks from MetaGrid. Let's see if we already have them. there they are. So we have several major blocks here. We have here a buy order block. We have here a massive sell order block, and also here a smaller sell order block. So we have a lot of sellers here in the market. So maybe the Euro USD goes tomorrow on Friday after the NFP more down than up. But we had this massive drop here already on the Euro USD in this week. And so it's a lot of imbalance here in this area, a lot of imbalance you can see. It created here this supply level on the H4, and maybe this pair wants to come back and test here this level before it goes further down. But it depends also how strong the euro gets on Friday. It's the same with the NFP, what it brings, we don't know yet. So you should definitely watch here this area, regardless of this resistance areas here. If the euro gets a really strong push tomorrow during the NFP release, then I think it will come here into this area. And then maybe we see here a bounce then. Or it takes out here these highs. If there are stop losses above here, then maybe it even could here take out this supply area. But it should react here a bit. And maybe if it's strong enough, we could here take out stop losses here above. This is the scenario if we get a strong euro on Friday. But let's check the support and resistance lines from MetaGrid. Okay. This is the H1 line. Let's see if we need this line. I don't think it fits that much. Okay, we have here the bounce. This is the reason for this line here. Yeah, I think we can remove it. I think it's not that important. We have here a very important line. It's the monthly resistance area. So this is also interesting to know, because if the price really could come here above, we have this strong resistance. We have here resistance by the supply zone. And so this could give or should give a reaction here in case that the price comes that far. Maybe it goes lower. It can happen that we see something like this, that it here goes into this massive sell area, that we have really that many sellers here, and that are after the NFP the dollar gets very strong and the euro very weak, then I think it will consume here sell orders and could then go here again lower, lower maybe even than here, and comes then, if it goes lower, comes then maybe here to this next demand level. You can see there's another box sitting below this first demand zone, so that it maybe comes into this demand zone then. This is the second scenario here on this pair. I think the best is most probably to wait here on this pair for the NFP release. You can also see that the candles are not really nice after the last hour, so the traders are waiting for the NFP data, and then they decide what to do with this pair, and you should do the same. I would not trade the EURUSD before the NFP release. It looks ugly at the moment. We have clearly to know in which direction it wants to go, and this data helps us a lot. But let's check the trend lines too, that we see where we have trend lines. So we have here H1 trend line. It broke here already this H1 trend line and was then going higher from there on. So we have to see if this trend line here holds, this one. So if it holds during the NFP, maybe we get then here the bounce. This is also a scenario that we can here buy orders. So for if we get a strong euro, it should here in a kind of way bounce, consume buy orders. And if the EURUSD gets really strong, it should come here through all this sell order blocks, and then it goes up maybe. So this is a buy area here, a bounce on this line. But again, I would wait clearly for the NFP before I decide, and then don't jump in quickly after the NFP. Wait 15-20 minutes that you can see a clear direction for this pair. Sometimes it happens the NFP comes out and we see a sudden move in this direction, for example, and then 10 minutes later you see suddenly whoop this one. So you should wait after the NFP 15-20 minutes that we see a clear direction. If we get a clear direction, sometimes it happens that the numbers from the NFP are not very interesting. So if the numbers are not give not a surprise, then maybe it happens not that much. So only if we get a surprise data on the NFP, then we will see bigger moves after this NFP release. So this is the EURUSD. Basically, we have something to watch here. This is a very interesting area, and one of these two directions should be the direction we go tomorrow. I don't think that it will go further this way. Even the NFP, it gives no surprise. I think we will see tomorrow something, because on the last day of a trading week, they want to take out stop losses and so on. And of course, you have to see, we have a lot of traders who are still in this trade here, in this down move. They saw this big massive sell out here, and here they jumped all in these sell trades. And where do they have their stop losses? They have maybe trailers behind the price. They have maybe here stop loss or here stop loss. And normally on Friday we see a lot of moves to take out such stop losses. So normally the price should take out all the trailers here behind the price. So it's of course more likely that it goes up and takes out all of these traders who wants to go in the sell direction. This would be the normal behavior I would expect, but maybe my opinion is that we see tomorrow maybe a stronger dollar again. This is only my opinion, but then the euro should go down. We will see this tomorrow. Okay, one more pair. I have the pound Kiwi for you as the third and last pair for today. Let's open this one on the daily chart, and we need again the MetaGrid template. This is the pair I mentioned this week several times. It looks a little bit ugly on the daily chart, but still we can use it, of course. It is at the moment on its way to this supply zone on the daily chart. I can't see a really good Fibonacci level besides from this high to this low, of course. And then you can see we are approaching here also the 50% level. It reacted really nice on the 38.2 level. You can see this. But here at this time, it was not really the 38.2 level, because this low was created here. And so here, let's see, the low here was then here. Okay, so if we look on this candle, we can only use this low for the Fibonacci level, and then you can see the 38.2 reacted here not, and then it was going lower and lower. And so we had here reaction then on the 38.2 level, not a really nice one. And then you can see it reacted then here on the 50% level the first time. This was a really big reaction here on the 50% level. So I don't think that we maybe see again such a big reaction on Friday, but maybe it wants to take out here again the stop losses, because all the traders who are in this down move here have the stop loss most probably placed here. And so to take out the stop losses, we have of course to go again here to this area, and maybe this happens tomorrow, that they want to take out here the stop losses. Depends how strong the pound is on Friday. So let's check where we have the support and resistance here on this daily levels. Of course, we have a resistance then here. This is the last high I see here. And on the downside, I would say maybe here we have some bounces here, but it's not a really nice level. This one is clearly the better one, but it's far away. So let's mark this one, that we have it on the chart. And then we'll check the order blocks from MetaGrid. Okay, we have here a sell order block, a massive one. We have here a buy order block, and again a buy order block here. And this buy order block is here in this area where we have also a demand zone, which is very good if we see such a scenario that we have an order block and here in this case a demand zone, and a buy order block and a demand zone in the same area. So this is a very interesting area here in case that we see here a down move today on Friday. Then we should here see a reaction, and if we see that reaction we could go here into a buy trade. If this happens after the NFP, so maybe 2 hours, 3 hours after NFP and the trading day is almost over, then I would not open here again a buy trade. Then maybe it's too late, but if it happens very early, then I would maybe take this buy trade here. But you should not open on Friday trades, I would say 2 hours after the US session begins. Then on Friday most of the times not much happens anymore. But on NFP day, who knows, maybe we see more. So I like this scenario where we think that it maybe takes out here the stop losses. So this is the supply level we saw on the daily chart. You remember it, and here are sitting the stop losses, and you can see we have here also this supply zone here on the chart. So this means we should have here sell orders too. We have sell orders, we have stop losses here. So I would like the scenario that it comes here, takes out the stop losses, and then it goes further down again. Then we could here maybe open a sell trade. This is the scenario I like the most. If it comes during the night, of course, in this area or in the early EU session, and it reacts here upwards, then we open here a buy trade. But let's check the support and resistance levels if we have something in our way, which we not saw so far. Okay, we have here the H4 support. So we have here support, we have here support. It could, let's see, if we have here support line, then of course it's also possible that it already bounces here. You have to see this. If it bounces here, maybe it gives a first bounce, then we see a second bounce in this area. So we have 2 bounce possibilities for buys here on this, based on this line here. The other lines are deeper, so you can see it drawed here also a weekly resistance line here above our line we draw on the daily chart. So this makes it even stronger here. So I like really the idea here to go into a sell trade if it takes out here the stop losses, but still you have to see price action. Okay, so we need clearly to see that it bounces here and begins to go down. Maybe again a retest a little bit and then it goes down. Then we go clearly here in a sell trade. I would like this idea. So on the other side, this means maybe we see during the night that it goes a bit down and then it begins to go up here. Then you can maybe try to buy this pair until it comes here in this area. This is a scenario you can maybe consider here on the pound kiwi. The last thing we do is to check the trend lines, of course, that we don't miss anything important here. And you can see we have here also H1 trend line. I removed this one here. We don't need it anymore, that we get a clear chart picture. So if it comes down, it could here bounce. We have here the H4 support. We have the H1 trend line. We have the major buy order block. So this could give already really a bounce here. And if this area not holds, then we should see here a bounce on this area where we have this massive buy order block and here this demand zone here. So we have here a lot of opportunities on this pair, and I like this pair really a lot for the Friday. I will carefully watch this pair. The EURUSD, like I told you, we wait after the NFP. We do nothing before. And on the dollar yen, we have discussed also some possibilities. These are the 3 pairs for Friday. So be careful on this special trading day with the NFP. I wish you all the best, many luck. And if you have any questions, then feel free to join the Telegram group where we can discuss the setups and more. Or if you want to know something about the MetaGrid and the order blocks and the analyzing tools, then I would be happy that you come into the Telegram channel. I wish you also a nice weekend. If I find the time, maybe I make a little weekly recap or a little forecast for the new week on Sunday maybe. And I also want to publish now the new supply and demand course. There's a free supply and demand course because the MetaGrid supply and demand indicator in the 2023 version is now ready. I want to publish it on over the weekend or on Monday. I will see. And with the release of this MetaGrid supply and demand indicator in the version 2023, I will also publish a free supply and demand course with 7 parts. So it has a 7-part course. It has 7 parts, and I want to publish all 1 or 2 days the next part, so that you can step by step watch this free course here on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe, that you get an alert if these videos came out. Goodbye until next time.